A brand new year of Quinnipiac sports is underway.
The field hockey team hosts the Bobcat Classic.
And both the men's and women's soccer teams travel across the country to begin their seasons.
A new year of Sports Paws starts right now.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Sports Paws. I'm Tom Albanese.
And I'm Laynie Barrentine. You know, Tom, the summer went by so fast, and Quinnipiac fall sports are already gearing up for a new semester.
You know, Laynie, you are absolutely right. And after a successful first season in the new conference, field hockey and men's soccer look to repeat as conference champions.
Speaking of field hockey, the Bobcats are projected to finish in first in the 2014 MAC preseason coaches poll. Last year, the team won the first ever Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference Field Hockey Championship against Robert Morris.
And following the win, the Bobcats earned 32 points with 3 first-place votes in the poll. Quinnipiac, Ryder, and Bryant are tied for the most all-MAC preseason selections with 3. Allen and Conboy, 2 all-MAC selections, will return to the Bobcats for the 2014 season. The team contains 10 new freshmen with their 24-man roster. And after competing in a few exhibition games, the Bobcats hosted the Bobcat Classic with teams like the number 13 nationally ranked Eagles of Boston College and the Lafayette College Leopards in the mix. Quinnipiac is a combined 1-15 against both schools all time. And Quinnipiac is going to begin their season against the number 13 nationally ranked Eagles, as I have mentioned, as both teams are getting ready for this big game to start the season. We're going to go right into the first half where the Eagles have controlled the game early on. On this shot right here, Megan Conboy with a nice kick save. And I'm going to keep on talking about Conboy. Another nice kick save right there by Conboy. And right here off a BC penalty corner. The quick shot, that's a nice diving save as well by Megan Conboy. And Megan Conboy, she is all over this highlight, Laynie. And there she is again with a nice diving save right there to keep the score at 0-0 through the first 5 minutes of the game. Now, Quinnipiac with their first opportunity right here, but the pass is deflected off a BC player, so the first half goes at 0-0. Now, early in the second half, BC is going to take advantage. Here's Brittany Sheenan, and she scores right there for the Eagles to give them an early 1-0 lead. Now, the Eagles are going to come back immediately right here with Emily McCoy with a quick shot, and that goes just over the outstretched arms of Megan Conboy. And take a look at this instant replay right here. The big height on the shot just over the arms of Conboy, and that gives the Eagles a 2-0 lead. Now, Quinnipiac is going to have a couple opportunities right here to get back in the game. Megan Osonich with a quick shot that just goes right off the post. No goal for the Bobcats. Quinnipiac again on another penalty corner, but they misplace it immediately on the play, losing possession. And as you can see right here, the Eagles are going to keep the ball out of their cage. And the Eagles are going to seal the deal right here with Abby Bichetta right there with the quick shot to the high left part of the cage. And that does it. The Eagles are going to defeat the Bobcats 3-0.
In the first half, Brittany Blass, she gets the pass. She shoots, but Megan Conboy blocks. Later, Megan McCullough chips the ball to the penalty area, but Dylan Allen ends up with the ball. She shoots, and now Quinnipiac is winning 1-0. Later in the second half, Megan McCullough gets the pass. She sets up Danielle Allen for the shot, but it's blocked. And also, later in the second half, Megan Osonich gets the pass. She shoots and fires, but it's deflected. Then later, Gemma Serve fires the shot. Danielle Allen gets the second game point. Quinnipiac is winning 2-0. Later in the half, Lafayette is making a push. Rosie Shanks left wide open. She shoots, and now Lafayette gets a point. It's 2-1. Later in overtime, Ellen Colborn steals the ball, heads for the breakaway. Megan Calaboy comes out, and she makes the save. Later, Kirby Zalowski steals the ball. She sends it forward. Kendall Wendell gets the breakaway. Megan Convoy comes out and she makes a diving save to the net, gets up, and makes the save for the rebound attempt. Later in overtime, Brittany Blast sends the ball through the penalty area. Megan Convoy makes yet another diving save to the net. And towards the end, Brittany Blast takes the ball. She fires it from the bottom corner, and Lafayette ends up winning 3-2. We now bring in our field hockey analyst, James Anderson, to discuss the current state of the team. James, thanks for coming on our show. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine, Laynie. Tom, how are you guys doing?
Doing well, thank you.
We're doing great. So, James, what did you take away from Quinnipiac's performance on the Bobcat Classic last weekend?
Well, it was nice to see that in the first Bobcat Classic that they could get a team that was nationally ranked like BC to come down for the tournament. It was obvious they were outmatched in that, though, as they lost 3-0. The game I thought they had a better chance in was the Lafayette game. Unfortunately, they ended up giving that one away in overtime. There was a lot of defensive fallout kind of in that overtime from losing momentum in the end of the second half. There was a lot of simple turnovers you saw in that highlight, just lack of focus all around. I think that comes from the fact that they're a bit of a young team this year.
Yeah, you make a good point there with all the turnovers at the end of that Lafayette game. Now, James, with the Bobcats losing a lot of talent from last season's NCAA tournament run, how do you think that will impact the team this season?
Well, they lost a lot of offensive power last year, that's for sure. But they still bring back Megan Convoy, who was the MAC Conference Goalie of the Year last year. And as you saw in the highlight, she basically just stood on her head in overtime. The team just didn't get any offensive chances going in overtime to give them a chance to win that game. So I feel that they're really going to hurt in the offensive side of things. That's really where they're going to be missing a lot of last year's talent.
You make some excellent points, James, but what specific improvements does the team have to make in practice this week leading up to their next game against Penn State?
They really just need to work on staying focused throughout the entire thing. They were really on their game throughout most of the first half and most of the second half, and then up 2-0 with about 4 minutes left, they just let it kind of fall apart. They started making simple mistakes. They weren't looking where they were passing that often. They were just not aware of their surroundings and where the Lafayette players were in terms of pressuring them. And I feel that it just needs to be instilled in the focus that they need to share as a team and communication and keep that going throughout the entire hour-long game. They just need to keep everything going.
Very true, James. And finally, what do you think is going to be most expected out of the team this season? Do you think we're going to see the team that was picked to finish atop of the conference, or the young, inexperienced team that was seen by everyone this past weekend?
I fully expect them to compete to win the conference this year. I mean, in the MAC preseason poll, coaches poll, they ended up being voted to win the conference. And so it's obvious that even though that about half their roster this year are freshmen, obviously it's not just the Quinnipiac coaching staff who feels confident in the talent of that freshman class, but the entire MAC coaching staffs. So I feel that they should be competing for the MAC championship this year, and I feel like they should live up to what they did last year and the expectations at the beginning of the year.
Very cool, James. Thanks you so much for being on the show, and thanks so much for your insight.
Thanks for having me.
The MAC Conference names the hockey goalie Megan Convoy as the MAC Field Hockey Defensive Player of the Week. This is the 4th time she has won the award in her career. Against Boston College Golden Eagles, Convoy recorded 11 saves while making 10 saves against Lafayette.
And when we return to Sports Paws, the men's soccer team expects to make some noise in the MAC once again. Our very own Victoria Rutigliano has more on the story. And also, the women's soccer team goes to California, and women's rugby starts off on a high note. Find out how they did and more after the break.
The Bobcat Shop, located at 1010 Sherman Avenue in Hamden. Your #1 choice for Bobcat merchandise. The Bobcat Shop features 2 floors of countless styles and colors. With a full 19,000 square foot screen printing and embroidery operation on the premises, Campus Customs and Simplify can design and decorate any garment or promotional product as quickly as needed. Stop in and say hi.
I could really go for a Ray and Mike sub right now. Come to Ray and Mike's and try our Philly chicken with cheese for just over $4, giant cheesesteak subs, and mouth-watering boar's head sandwiches for as low as $4.75. Q-Cash accepted just a mile down the road on Whitney, here at Ray and
Bobcat Shop, located at 1010 Sherman Avenue in Hamden. Your number one choice for Bobcat merchandise. The Bobcat Shop features 2 floors of countless styles and colors. With a full 19,000 square foot screen printing and embroidery operation on the premises, Campus Customs and Simplify can design and decorate any garment or promotional product as quickly as needed. Stop in and say hi.
I could really go for a Ray and Mike sub right now.
Come to Ray and Mike's and try our Philly chicken with cheese for just over $4, giant cheesesteak subs, and mouth-watering boar's head sandwiches for as low as $4.75. Q-Cash accepted just a mile down the road on Whitney, here at Ray and Mike's.
Welcome back to Sports Paws. Along with the field hockey team, men's soccer also earned their first conference championship in program history last year. Head coach Eric Da Costa and his squad will have a chance to repeat as conference champs. But can they do it again? Victoria Rutigliano has more.
After winning the MAC championship last year, head coach Eric Da Costa and the men's soccer team still see themselves as underdogs in this upcoming season.
I was hoping we were chosen a bit lower, to be honest with you. We've always played well as the underdog, and I think we have guys who have a little bit of a chip on their shoulder and like to be underestimated. So we're glad we were picked where we're at. It gives us a little bit of motivation and fuels the fire a little bit for us.
After losing one of the top goal scorers in the conference, Simon Hind, the team is looking to play more defensively in order to find ways to win games. I spoke to Coach Da Costa about this earlier today.
We understand it's going to be a challenge. We understand that it's not easy to win a championship. It's certainly not easy to win a regular season championship. So we want to continue to just work hard, be humble, try to improve every day.
After a tough weekend in Chicago, the team will be hosting Boston College and Providence. Da Costa told me earlier that while both teams are tough, it'll help get the team ready for conference play.
Our schedule is extremely competitive. We have some great universities that we're matched up against, and some excellent soccer programs. So we just want to see where we match up and how we stand with the big players and the big programs.
Da Costa hopes that this championship will help him with recruits in the future. Victoria Rutigliano, Q30 Sports.
The Quinnipiac women's soccer team traveled to California over the weekend, taking on University of the Pacific Tigers and the UC Davis Aggies. Quinnipiac got off to a rough start on the road trip, falling to the Tigers 1-0 on a goal scored with just under 3 minutes left in regulation. Despite the loss, Quinnipiac's goalie Natalia Grotsky made 4 saves. Quinnipiac then took on UC Davis and forced the game into overtime, resulting in the Bobcats losing to the Aggies 1-0. The loss moves Quinnipiac to 0-3 in the early season. The team returns to action on Friday as they travel to New Haven to face crosstown rival Yale.
Over the summer, the women's ice hockey team traveled all the way to Rome, Italy for their annual vacation. Senior Amanda Collin and current women's lacrosse player Kelly Babstock sat down to blog about their trip. The trip lasted 10 days and consisted of sightseeings around the country.
And the women's rugby team started off their season defeating Life University in the season opener 34-19. During the first half, the Bobcats held a slight 10-7 advantage. After that, it was all Quinnipiac. Junior Natalie Costco led the team with 2 tries and 2 assists. Senior Shannon Durkin and sophomore Maggie Miles also contributed a try each for the Bobcats. Former women's soccer player Anya McKeever made her team debut, going 2 for 6 on conversion attempts. The Bobcats will welcome Army to Hamden on September 6th.
It's time for another break, but when we return to Sports Paws, Q30 Sports' John Alba breaks down the men's basketball schedule. Also, 2 high school standouts commit to men's basketball team. Jordan Siegler had a chance to speak with their high school basketball coach. Stay tuned.
The Bobcat Shop, located at 1010 Sherman Avenue in Hamden. Your number one choice for Bobcat merchandise. The Bobcat shop features 2 floors of countless styles and colors. With a full 19,000 square foot screen printing and embroidery operation on the premises, Campus Customs and Simplify can design and decorate any garment or promotional product as quickly as needed. Stop in and say hi.
I could really go for a Ray and Mike sub right now.
Come to Ray and Mike's and try our Philly chicken with cheese for just over $4, giant cheesesteak subs, and mouth-watering boar's head sandwiches for as low as $4.75. Cash accepted just a mile down the road on Whitney, here at Ray and Mike's.
The Bobcat Shop, located at 1010 Sherman Avenue in Hamden. Your #1 choice for Bobcat merchandise. The Bobcat shop features 2 floors of countless styles and colors. With a full 19,000 square foot screen printing and embroidery operation on the premises, Campus Customs and Simplify can design and decorate any garment or promotional product as quickly as needed. Stop in and say hi.
I could really go for a Ray and Mike sub right now.
Come to Ray and Mike's and try our Philly chicken with cheese for just over $4, giant cheesesteak subs, and mouth-watering boar's head sandwiches for as low as $4.75. Cash accepted just a mile down the road on Whitney, here at Ray and Mike's.
With seniors Zaid Hurst, Evan Conti, and Usman Drame set to graduate after this season, Quinnipiac is looking ahead into the future. According to ESPN's Adam Finkelstein, the Bobcats received commitments from brothers Andrew and Aaron Robinson. Jordan Siegler talked to their high school basketball coach for a scouting report on the duo.
They shoot the ball really well. You know, they shoot the ball really well. They're coachable. And then, you know, they get there, they listen, they work really hard. And, you know, what I know, I'll be honest with you, I haven't seen a lot of Quinnipiac games, but I know Coach Moore, Coach Doherty, Coach E, and Coach Burrell, they're like kids that, are physical and play hard. And, you know, that's Aaron and Andrew. They play hard, they love the game, and I think they'll, fit in with that, in that aspect.
A few months away, both the women's and men's teams released new schedules for the 2014-2015 season.
John Alba breaks down each team's schedule along with giving his thoughts on some of the key matchups.
The 2014-2015 MAC men's basketball schedule was released on Wednesday, just a little more than 2 months away from tip-off. Quinnipiac picked up 14 wins against just 6 losses last season in conference play, good for the #3 seed in the playoffs. But now, it's time to take a look at some notable matchups in this year's slate of games for the Bobcats. The MAC season kicks off on December 5th, where Quinnipiac hopes its season will reach its peak, the Times Union Center in Albany. There, the Bobcats will take on a Siena Saints team that is fresh off winning the 2014 CBI Tournament Championship. Quinnipiac last saw Jimmy Papsos' squad on February 27th, where star guard Umar Shannon was lost for the rest of the season with a knee injury. Siena's late movement earned the Saints a #5 seed, but were then dropped by Canisius in the quarterfinals of the MAC tournament. The Bobcats will face Siena after a tricky out-of-conference swing that includes LaSalle and Hartford, and the Siena contest could be a make-or-break game early on out of the stretch, depending on how they handle those. Another matchup I have my eye on takes place much later in the year, but perhaps at a more crucial time than ever. The Fairfield Stags will host Quinnipiac on February 13th in Bridgeport as the in-state rivals face one another as the final leg of MAC play kicks off. The Bobcats took down the Stags in Fairfield last season, but an early season win versus Quinnipiac served as one of Fairfield's just 4 conference victories. Why is it big? Well, Fairfield will be better this year, having lost just 1 senior after last season and returning its second leading scorer in forward Marcus Gilbert. But the game is a must-win before a crucial set of MAC games to finish the season off for the Bobcats, a winnable game they cannot afford to lose. Which takes me to my final point, the home stretch. Quinnipiac follows Fairfield with a swing of games against the rest of the MAC's top 6 seeds last season. The Bobcats faced last year's regular season champion Iona at home on February 15th, followed by a tough road game against Ryder. Home matchups with the Billy Barron-less Canisius Golden Griffins and Siena lead to the regular season finale in New York against Steve Masiello's Manhattan Jaspers. This is an absurd stretch of games for any team, and it's a testament to just how evenly contested the MAC may be this year. Going sub 500 over that span could turn a number 3 seed into a number 5 or 6, but a strong performance could put Quinnipiac in favorable standing as it heads back to Albany.
The women's volleyball team opened its season going 1-2 over the weekend at the Hofstra Invitational. The Bobcats began strong on Friday with a come-from-behind 3-2 victory over the Lafayette Leopards. This victory was the first win for Quinnipiac in a season opener since joining Division I in 1998. Senior Tanner Celestin achieved a double-double with a career-high 15 kills and 12 digs, while on Saturday, the Bobcats lost 2 straight matches 3-0 against Hofstra and St. Francis College of Brooklyn. Katie Uricki highlighted the day for the Bobcats, tallying a total of 21 kills in both matches. Quinnipiac will have its home opener tomorrow against UMass Lowell at 7 p.m.
Cross country started off their season in Long Island this weekend for the 2014 Stony Brook Invitational. Projected to finish 7th in the MAC, the men's teams finished in 3rd place, led by junior Matt Menscher. 5 Bobcats finished in the top 22 overall. The women's squad, expected to finish 2nd in their conference, also finished in 3rd place. Both teams would take part in the Bryant Invitational Saturday, September 6th. Tom, it appears that the first episode of Sports Paws is in the books.
It sure is, Lainey. And as the season starts, Sports Paws will have all of your coverage on how each of the teams fare.
For more information on everything Quinnipiac sports, visit our website at www.q30television.com.
And also make sure you follow Q30 Sports on Twitter at Q30 Sports.
For Tom Abelnees, I'm Laynie Barrentine. Have a good night, everyone.